thanks, Cody. Oh, how excited are we? We have Barbara
morning.
Eden coming on the show. I saw every single episode that ever aired in reruns because it came on in '65. I was only 4 years old, but I watched it in reruns, and she was just the bomb when I was a kid.
One of the few
we all
TV
pretended
shows
that we were genies.
That actually, when it went from black and white to color, it was okay.
It was okay.
You know what I mean? It made the transition.
Yeah.
Like Andy of Mayberry didn't make the transition right. As soon as those episodes went to color, you know it's a bad one. But with I Dream of Jeannie, good every time.
There she is on the cover of the book. And so my husband was saying last night, oh yeah, she was the one. He goes, you know, I know a lot of guys who like Samantha Stevens, but he said, but Jeannie was the one. And I held up the book, and he goes, oh yeah, that's the picture right there. She was cute. She was blonde. He thought she was adorable. But you talked about it being in color. They wanted it. Sidney Sheldon wanted it to be in color. I learned all of this in just reading the first half of the book the other day.
And did you know that?
But it was too expensive. It was an extra $400 an episode, and NBC didn't want to spend the money, and so they wouldn't put it in color.
And somehow that name, I don't know if it's Sheldon Leonard, if he's a famous television producer, if it's the guy you're talking about, but somehow on The Big Bang Theory, totally unrelated, but welcomed by stream of consciousness, there's a character named Sheldon and a character named Leonard, and they're a tribute to Sheldon Leonard, a famous comedy guy from TV back in the day. Might even be the guy that you're talking about. And as far as what your husband brought up about if you would want to be with Jeannie or be with Bewitched, as I mentioned, the great thing about Jeannie is now Bewitched, you couldn't control her. Whatever she wanted to do, she would just do this, diddly-leap. But Jeannie, you could put her back in her bottle, and for whatever reason, the bottle was like the fortress of solitude.
It was, yes.
And now I'm getting Superman in my I Dream of Jeannie, and you got I Dream of Jeannie in my Superman. Wait, it's two tastes that taste great together. But I'm forced to choose. Who did Scott choose? Did he choose Jeannie?
Oh yeah, he chose Jeannie. Absolutely. He said there was no contest.
More Jeannie for everybody.
I think it's because, you know, a lot of people, it was a scandalous show when it came out. The way she was dressed,
the outfit, right?
The way she was dressed. NBC wanted, they had to line those silk pants with something because they didn't want to see her legs through the pants.
Oh my goodness.
There was a rule that when the Jeannie smoke, you know, sometimes she would just be in the Jeannie smoke and it would go do things on its own. If it went under Major Nelson's bedroom door, it had to come out. There was actually a memo by NBC that the smoke was not allowed to stay under the bedroom door.
Because you know what that would mean.
Because the implication, that means he was, you know, fooling around with a smoke.
Yeah.
So we put it on our Facebook page, on Good Day's Facebook page, which is facebook.com/GoodDaySacramento. I said, Barbara Eden's coming on this hour. Who'd you like better, Samantha Stevens or Jeannie? Kind of split. Rhonda said Samantha Stevens. I never watched Jeannie. Iggy says, two completely different people. Two completely different people. James says Jeannie by far, smoking bod, still looked good when she got older. Susie said she preferred Samantha Stevens. She was smart. Jeannie was a little bimbo-ish. Oh, but Jeannie was...
Yeah, but she couldn't tell which
one was in control.
The husbands were switched.
Yes.
Darren and Darren.
That's right. They just swapped them out, right?
Exactly.
Two different
During the show,
actors,
no one even noticed.
Jeannie, Jeanette says, Jeannie, that was my nickname for years. Teresa says, Sam, of course. Nicole says, Jeannie, of course. So it's really split. It's just kind of about 50-50. So Barbara Eden will join us live. She grew up in San Francisco, so she's pretty much local here, just right down the road.
I didn't. Is all this stuff in this book?
Yeah.
I mean, did you actually do some prep before this, like with the smoke underneath the door and everything?
Usually, you know, they send you the book like 5 minutes before the interview, and so I took it home, and I got through about half of it. You can tell where all the pages are dog-eared. Those are all things that I need to talk to her about from the show. And some, of course, I always go right to the pictures right in the middle. So we'll be talking about some of those.
Oh my God! How awesome is that? Like, Merry Christmas, everybody. How are you? That's my Christmas card this year.
It is 7:12 now this morning. Marcus Allen is going goo-goo for Gaga. As we speak, he is being made up to look exactly like the pop star.
And she starred in one of the most classic TV shows. We've been talking about her. Barbara Eden from I Dream of Jeannie. There's the bottle, there's the smoke. She'll join us to talk about her life on and off the screen when we come right back, gang. It's 7:12 on Good Day Sacramento.
So excited.
Yay!
I have been waiting for this interview since I was in the 5th grade. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. Created on the heels of the successful Bewitched sitcom, producer Sidney Sheldon created another fantasy show that has become an all-time classic and is still out there in syndication.
It was called I Dream of Jeannie. Barbara Eden played the lead role, and for all you young folks out there, here's a quick look.
I never can get these things buckled. No, let me help you.
Has just released her memoir in which she tells the story of her life on and off the screen. It's called Jeannie Out of the Bottle, and she joins us now live to talk about it. Good morning!
Hey, Barbara Eden. Hey, now.
Oh my God! I waiting to talk to you since I was in the 5th grade. We used to pretend, my girlfriends and I, after school when we would walk home, we would stand at the light waiting for the stoplight to change, and we would pretend to blink it. We would stand there, and we'd put our arms up, and we would wait when it turned yellow, and we would blink, and it would turn green. That's how we entertained ourselves.
That's being creative.
It is being creative. Congratulations on the memoir. It was really fun to read, and I got to tell you, I learned so much about you that I never would have guessed, including the fact that you were pregnant during the first year of the show.
The first 13 shows.
How about that? That's unbelievable to me. How did they hide that?
Well, sometimes they didn't very well. I remember one time, Gene Nelson, who was the director, came to me with a red bathing suit, and I was 7 months pregnant. I was big, and I looked at him and I said, "I'm pregnant," and he said, "Oh, just put it on. It'll be okay." I said, "Look, I'll put it on." He was a good friend of mine, and you come and look at it. And so I put it on, and I put a robe around myself, and he came over, and I went, "Ta-da!" And he went, "Oh, yeah." That was the end of that.
That was the end of that one. Well, this was quite the show in its day, and quite scandalous, really, for 1965. And I was reading some of the rules that NBC laid down about the show. First of all, that the pants that you wore, the silk pants, had to be lined so we couldn't see the silhouette of your legs.
Yes.
That was a big one. And this is the one, though. This one you have in quotes here. The genie smoke, sometimes you would see you move around the room as just as the smoke out of your bottle. And NBC said, quote, "The smoke must never spend the night in the bedroom of a man."
Yes. Or the bottle.
Or the bottle.
Or the bottle.
Because civilization would just totally gone to dust if you'd done that.
So in your opinion, Barbara, in your opinion, were the characters of Jeannie and Tony, were they having a nice, healthy relationship back then?
Well, of course not. I mean, how could they? She was an entity. He knew it. She didn't. You know?
This is
and
true.
that was the comedy. That was the comedy. She was a freak.
Don't say that about Jeannie. Let me ask you
super
this.
freaky.
Let me ask you this. And a lot of people have speculated, and I know you answered this in the book, that you were gorgeous, and Larry Hagman, very handsome. Did you and Larry Hagman, as Barbara and Larry, ever have a romantic fling?
Hey now.
Never.
Not
never,
one time. Never, ever, ever.
Never. No.
You kept it strictly professional.
So, Barbara,
Oh, yeah.
I understand that the iconic, the blinking and the arm folding and stuff, it was supposed to be something else, right?
No.
Oh, really?
No,
Okay.
actually, it was always blinking.
It was always blinking.
But I guess the thing I added was the head, the ponytail flipping.
That made all the difference in the world. Yeah,
like that.
Exactly.
Well, I know you have roots here just north of us up in Marysville. I know your family lived there for a long, long time, and you grew up in the San Francisco area, so we consider you a local here for us in Sacramento.
I consider myself local, too.
Thank you for joining us. Barbara Eaton's new book is called Genie Out of the Bottle. It's available now. If you're a fan of the show, like everybody I knew was as a kid, you got to read it because it's really fascinating. It talks all about her life on and off screen, and it was just wonderful. What a time that was in Hollywood. Barbara, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, lady.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks
And you
a lot.
heard it. She
Barbara
said
Eaton.
it.
Oh my God.
Jeannie was a freak.
Oh, she was.
She was a super freak. She's super freaky now.
Just a 2,000-year-old woman in love. That's all. Just a
I have not seen you
2,000-year-old
so
woman in love.
excited about an interview
I know.
in like 8 years.
You know, her first, her husband, Michael Ansaro, is an actor. I'm pretty sure he played the blue gin on the show.
Oh, okay.
There was an episode where he was the one who put her in the bottle in the first place, and she was stuck in the bottle for 2,000 years.
Do you remember when she would play her sister on the show, and
I loved
like
when
she put on a
played her
wig and
sister.
pretend to be somebody else?
My sisters and I would talk that way. My sister still does Jeannie's evil sister voice. Seriously, the show had such an impact on
Can you do
me.
Jeannie's voice?
Well, the evil sister was like, well, if that's how you're going to be, then fine. Fine.
Marianne, everybody, she's here all week as well.
I'll make Major Healy eat cardboard. That's fine.
Fun.